Well-being is not just absence of disease. Even if you don't have any label of disease, you can still change and modify your lifestyle. The sleep pattern you should have about how and what to eat, and how you can be very conscious of organic and healthy food, what you are going to intake, and how actually not to eat, how to use the intermittent fasting in your favor. Of course, you know how to strengthen your upper body, how to strengthen your lower extremities and legs and thighs, and how to have six packs in your abdomen. But the order is important. What is the order? First, focus on your core. Welcome to Dr. Nasar Shahid program for how to prevent chronic diseases, chronic pain, and how to achieve well-being. Here we give those ideas to our listeners that can be helpful for them in terms of how to modify their life to achieve a good well-being. Now remember, well-being is not just absence of disease. Even if you don't have any label of disease, you can still change and modify your lifestyle. We talked about in the previous videos, and you can Google it, and you can also search it, about the sleep pattern you should have, about how and what to eat, and how you can be very conscious of organic and healthy food, what you are going to intake, and how actually not to eat, how to use the intermittent fasting in your favor. So all these things I have already discussed in detail. Today I'm going to talk about how you can improve the strength of your muscles. Now remember, when we are talking about strength in the muscles and you want to go and do gym activity, remember an order of strengthening your body. If you don't follow the order, the chances are, because of gym, you will end up having some kind of injury. So the order is very important. Of course, you know how to strengthen your upper body, how to strengthen your lower extremities and legs and thighs, and how to have six packs in your abdomen. But the order is important. What is the order? First, focus on your core. The core strengthening should be your main focus in your whole exercise program. When you go to gym, first you do core exercises. The core strengthening, how you can get core strengthening, that is a separate story, but the core is the most important. Like your 80% time should be initially spent on core strengthening, and then 10% or 15% lower extremity, and then 5% your upper extremity. This should be the order and proportion in the beginning of your exercise. After that, once the core is strong enough, and how you know core is strong enough, you do a 1 minute plank in a proper fashion. Plank, resting on your elbow, and your whole body is stretched in one line, and that is called plank. So you do plank on your front, that's 1 minute, and similarly 1 minute plank on your side, and the 1 minute plank on your other side, or maybe even half a minute. So that should be your baseline of plank, and as you strengthen your core, this can increase. But if you have 1 minute planks on either side, that means your core is strong. Now you can bring your lower extremity the next order. The lower extremity, how to strengthen your legs, your thighs, your gastroc muscles, your front muscles, your back muscles. Once that is strong enough, then you go to your upper body. Normally what people do, the mistake, they start upper body a lot, very little of core, and then they go to the lower extremities, legs and thighs. So this order is the lesson of today, that we have to strengthen our core first. Now, what is core? Core is between your rib cage and your pelvic bone, which we call love handles. Everything on the front, on the back is core in the abdominal wall. We have to strengthen those muscles. We have to stretch those muscles, dynamically involve them. The one thing you can do also to strengthen your core muscle is having a good breathing exercises. Everything you do, whether you are doing push-ups or planks, you want to make sure you do extended, prolonged exhalation, because the exhalation engages the lower part of the abdominal muscles, and in this way they are contracted. So this is the best way to do any physical activity for strengthening. Strengthen the core first, then the legs, and then the upper body. Initial exercise program: 80% core, 15% legs, 5% upper body. Once your core is strong, you can decrease the proportion of the core and compensate it by increasing the lower and upper body exercises.